Hi everyone, thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. In this video, we are going to be talking about the best smelling affordable fragrances for men. So if you're just starting out your collection or if you're on a tight fragrance budget, this video is for you. If you're interested in fragrances, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking this video. So affordable fragrances, can they actually be good? Yes. The thing with affordable fragrances is a lot of times they're vintage fragrances or fragrances that were mass produced or came out a long time ago, and so they don't really have to spend the marketing dollars anymore, and so the quality of their juice hasn't changed. A lot of times there's still naturals in these fragrances. To make, they cost just as much as new releases, but because the money isn't going into marketing dollars anymore, the fragrance kind of sits around in all its glory, but the price goes down. The longer that a fragrance is on the market, the more it's open to gray market distributors. So what that means is that there are these middlemen that are kind of cutting down the price, which isn't necessarily so great for the brand, but it is great for you, the consumer. So the first fragrance that we're going to talk about today is Zeno by Davidoff. And this fragrance, you probably know the brand Davidoff because of Cool Water, which is definitely the most popular fragrance, and also can be quite affordable. But what I like about Zeno is it's a lot more unique. Cool Water, I'm sure you've smelled it before. Everyone's kind of smelled it before. Zeno is more of its edgy brother. So it's much more warm, woody, spicy, balsamic, and then it's paired with this classic fougere heart. And I think the fact that you have this very warm, slightly sweet patchouli on top of this classic fougere is what's kept it modern all these times, because in perfumery nowadays, patchouli is huge whether or not you realize it. It's in women's fragrance, it's in men's fragrance. It's really at the heart of a lot of fragrances as we kind of go towards a slightly sweeter direction in perfumery. And so with Zeno by Davidoff, we had that far beyond its time. But it smells really sophisticated. It does not smell like a cheap fragrance. It's really in a class of its own. You can wear it on a date. It's not a cheap fragrance whatsoever. And the projection and longevity are moderate to strong. So that's always a bonus when you're not paying much for a fragrance. The next fragrance on this list is Seafaring Man by Laramotica Perfumery. This is a small independent perfumer in Marin County, California. I discovered this brand when I was working at Tiger Lily Perfumery and was super impressed by it because she uses an incredibly high percentage of naturals. Many of her fragrances are all natural. I'm not sure if Seafaring Man is all natural. I think it's mixed media, meaning there is a lot of naturals, but there's also some synthetics in there. But it is an exquisite fragrance, and I believe a 30 ml bottle is around $55 or $65. So this fragrance is the most expensive fragrance on the list. Generally, I tried to keep every bottle on this list under $50. I believe hers comes in either $50 or $60 max. And it's this salty bergamot with an aquatic base, so this mossy aquatic base, but it still smells very natural, very good on skin. You can tell it's a really well-composed artisan fragrance, and that's so different, I think, from a lot of designer or niche. It's an artisan fragrance. You can tell it's kind of lovingly crafted. It's in a very different style from what we're kind of used to smelling, but it's very interesting. How do I describe this fragrance? I think because of the amount of naturals, we only get a moderate projection, but I wouldn't say it's weak by any means. And it's really great to try out artisan perfumery at a more affordable budget, to have these quality materials. I really don't know how the perfumer does it, but I have met her before, and I can tell she's incredibly passionate about her craft. And so she finds a way to give you these amazing artisan crafted perfumes in a way that we can all afford, which is really incredible and pretty rare. So it's a brand, it's called Laramotica, and it's worth checking out. Next on my affordable fragrance list is Grey Flannel by Jeffrey Bean. So this fragrance, like Zeno, came out quite a while ago, 30, 40 years ago. But what it has here is you have an iris, which I think is also very modern. You know, you see iris in a lot of modern fragrances, most notably Dior Homme. So you have that same iris core, but then you have a more classical fragrance structure. It does get very, how do I explain? It gets very manly in a way that maybe would remind you of your dad a little bit. And this I'm just saying because I read it in the Fragrantica comments, because I wore this fragrance in perfumery school. Yes, it has this like cedar note, which is quite masculine. It's a bit old-fashioned, but I still found this fragrance incredibly addictive, super refined. It doesn't smell cheap at all, and it's very masculine. To me, it doesn't smell like grandpa masculine. It just smells like a man. So I think it's worth checking out and maybe just kind of like sitting with it. You know, if you do feel like it's too classic or too old-fashioned, then it's not for you. But I really feel like on the right man, this could be such a special fragrance, and definitely at first whiff, it's something that I love again and again when I get a whiff of it. So now we're getting to my top 3 best affordable fragrances. Again, if you like this video and this topic, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. So number 3, if you've seen my videos with Sebastian before, you've heard me talk about this fragrance, and it's Bentley Intense for Men. It's so good. It's this delicious, boozy, balsamic fragrance. It's absolutely addictive. I wouldn't wear it in hot weather, so if you have a hot summer, save it for fall, winter, but it's absolutely cuddly, delicious, addictive. It is a treat of a fragrance. At number 2, we have Caron Pour Un Homme, and I'm obsessed with this fragrance. It is a lavender vanilla, plain and simple, but perfectly balanced, and both of these notes are so sexy. To me, vanilla is sexy on everyone, men and women, but lavender especially on men. I don't know what it is. It is an incredibly sexy fragrance. I think because the note itself is fresh, but also slightly balsamic sweet. So, and again, that like contrast is very sexy, this freshness with this sweetness. And then you have this gentle vanilla, which I think gives this fragrance pretty decent projection. It smells very natural. It works beautifully on skin. It's a very easy wear too. It's not super cerebral. Sometimes with fragrances, they're so conceptual. There's so much going on. You know, I almost like I'm too tired to wear it that day, and I never feel that way about Caron Pour Un Homme. I find it super unisex. I have to admit, I wear this fragrance myself. I just love it so, so much. And number 1 on my favorite affordable fragrances for men is Lalique Encre Noire. I've talked about this fragrance again and again. If you've seen me on Sebastian's channel, it's one of my favorite fragrances all time. It's one of the fragrances that really made me deep dive into perfumery. The perfumery is Natalie Lorson. She also did Bentley for Men Intense. It's such a beautiful fragrance. Again, you can find this fragrance on Amazon for insanely cheap prices. I think I last bought my bottle for $36, and I think I've seen it for even less, and these are 100 ml bottles, which is insane. And so this is an incredible smoky vetiver. It's so good. It has incredible projection. It's unique. It's a year-round fragrance for me. It's my favorite vetiver. I never tell people to blind buy. Ever, I never tell people to blind buy. I am a sampler. I am not someone that splurges on bottles unless I've done my research, smelled it, put it on skin, finished my sample. But at this price point, I mean, it's worth a blind buy. I think I might, I'm in this fragrance. Even at $36, I did not blind buy this fragrance. But I think, you know, if you can get a bottle for like $30 or under, it's worth a blind buy. It's such a good vetiver fragrance. Yes, so I hope you've enjoyed this list of my favorite fragrances for men at a decent price point. And please let me know what your favorite affordable fragrances are. And I will see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.